Yes, questions.
Yeah, one more question. You just gave us a list of about, I don't know, 30, 40 things.
I got 22. Now everybody will worry about that because everybody started counting.
Then everybody beside you.
Go ahead, TJ.
You have to improve all those things about yourself, or at least get that out of your way. How do you keep from being I-centered while you're working on that?
The question was, if you got these 22 things you're going to do here, how do you keep from being I-centered? Maybe it's my definition or miscommunication, what I mean by I-centered. You know, I-centered is not a situation where you say, look, I need improvement, I'm going to work on something. I-centered is just going through this world thinking the whole world's revolving around you, and that the whole world is there to take care of you. And if you're not making enough sales, instead of figuring out how to make more sales, you take this, you get this feeling of why me? Why am I in this situation? Why doesn't that prospect understand me? Why don't they pay attention? Why don't they listen? Why? Got it? And you spend all your time doing that, and instead of looking out there and saying, you know, what's really going on? And that's what and if you know, you're not far away from being a teenager, so you don't have to think back so far. But if you've got a college kid at home, you know what I-Center is all about. You know, they come home and you can spend 6 months cleaning your house up, and they can destroy it in one day. And in one afternoon, they expect you to walk over all this stuff, and they expect somebody to come and take care of them. I mean, that's great when you're a kid, but when you grow up in the professional world, it just ain't going to happen. Let me give him one rebuttal statement, I think.
Yeah, it just was, is it important for the people around you to know that you're trying to change?
You're going to shake up a lot of people as you start to change. See, nobody wants you to change. If they wanted you to change, they'd have started with somebody else. So you are going to threaten a lot of people when you start to make these changes, because there's a lot of people who are dependent upon you to get their I-centered needs met. And so absolutely, if you don't take that into consideration as you start to change, you're going to shake a lot of people up. You know, you've got the only people who are going to be ready for you to change and want you to change are those people who really have an interest in you, who really love you, that you have your support group and that you've had good contracts with. But I promise you, you know, get outside of your family as an example, and relatives and co-workers, they're going to have a lot of difficulty with you as you start to clean up your act and start to make money and have things and accomplish your goals, because, you know, unfortunately, a lot of people don't want those things for you because they have to take a look at themselves. That's why everybody lives on the same block, have the same kind of cars. It's just like the concept of time. You're not working on your things all of the time. For instance, when in our business, you're training, we're doing the kind of things we do today. When you go out in the field, you don't spend any time thinking about it, because that's I-centered. Just do it. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, you have a failing experience and you'll grow from it. It's like a ball player. You know, he can stand in a batter's cage for hours, but when he gets up to the plate, he cannot think about how to swing. Those of you who play golf know that. You can practice all you want, but if you show up on the tee and try to figure out, I remember when, and I like golf like other people, and I played a lot of golf back in the 60s. And I remember there's something on Monday that they call the Pro-Am, where the pro of your country club finds 3 people willing to pay his way to go to this tournament. And so they invite you. Those of you who have been to Pro-Ams understand that. So now it's Monday morning, and we're going to have this tournament, and I've got this big, it's called a shag bag, you know, because the guy's supposed to stand out there and catch them. You know, you've seen the tournaments. So anyway, I had this 200 of these golf balls there. Maybe I had a 9 o'clock tee off time. I show up at 7 o'clock and start hitting these balls. Start with a wedge and go up to a 2-iron, hit woods. And here comes the pro I'm playing with. He's got 4 balls in his back pocket. Drops them on the ground, hits a wedge, hits a 3-iron, hits a 3-wood, hits a driver, starts to walk away. And I said, hey, Kaz. I said, you're crazy. This is a big tournament. He says, Sandler, if you didn't bring it with you, you're not going to find it here. And you know, it saved me a lot of balls after that. But that's what I really talk about being I-centered. You know, the I-centered person shows up on a sales call and everything, he's working so hard at what? No, you don't practice there. You practice someplace else, And then you show up and you do the best job you can without worrying about whether you're going to fall on your face or trip over to spill the coffee. Not important. That isn't the place that you don't train in front of a prospect. When Ben Hogan won the U.S. Open, I don't know what year it was, and I don't remember what golf course it was. I'm sure somebody remembers that. But it was pre-television, so it wasn't even on television. But he had a 215-yard shot from on the 18th green. And he took out this one iron that Hogan's famous for, and he hit it 3 inches from the cup and won the tournament. And of course, everybody ran up to him. He said, the reporters would, well, how did you do that? How did you hit all that pressure? He said, I've hit that shot 4,000 times in practice. And when that Tony Jacklin, I think it was, fellow won the British Open, and he knocked a 70-foot putt in on the 18th hole to win the tournament, people were going crazy. They went over to interview him. He said, look, I grew up on this golf course. He said, I can remember being a little kid. I would pick a stick up and a stone, and I would stand over that stone and make out I was making this 70-foot putt to win the British Open. He said, I got ready for this. So that's what training, and that's what President's Club, and that's what reinforcement, that's what support groups are all about. You got to get ready. If you show up in a sales call, and that's the first call you ever made, I'm going to tell you, you're going to screw it up.